we have to talk about the rights infighting. And of course, this all is connected to Ben Shapiro, to Matt Walsh, to Tucker Carlson, to Seth Dillon, to Candace, to Megyn. Everybody is now involved in this weird sort of civil war. People are finding their side, and it's just fascinating to watch. The most recent sort of twist in this story is that you may have seen clips of Ben Shapiro on tour, on one of Megyn Kelly's tour stops. This was a few days back, where he said to Megyn, you should be talking about the Candace stuff because she's pure evil. She's essentially accusing Erica Kirk of murdering her own husband. And Megyn was like, what? I haven't heard her say that. That is a shock. So just to recap for people exactly what he said, here is what he said.
But if this were on the left and somebody were accusing Charlie Kirk of his wife having murdered him, I assume that you would be talking about it.
Is that what Candace is accusing Erica of?
Yes.
Of murdering her own husband?
She's accusing TPUSA insiders and other members of the right wing, including Seth Dillon, of being involved in the murder of Charlie Kirk, yes.
Okay. Like I said, I don't take in that content, which is an honest statement. I don't have time to watch Candace's show.
I believe you.
Okay, so you could hear him qualify what he was saying, that she is accusing insiders at TPUSA of being involved in Charlie's death. She's been very clear about that. So Megyn decided, and I don't know why, but Megyn decided, I'm going to take that to mean that Erica, that what Candace said is that Erica pulled the trigger. And that's what she went with. And so last night, or maybe the night before, at another one of her tour stops, she called out Ben for lying, which was a real shock for me to see Megyn do this. But here's what happened here's what Megyn said.
He said that Candace has been claiming Erica Kirk was behind the murder of Charlie, which I had not heard. And I was taken aback because that seems like something I would have heard. It's so crazy. And I have since learned it is not true. Candace has not made that claim. And in fact, I've now seen several clips of Candace specifically defending Erica Kirk and saying she would never make a claim like that about Erica, and that she is open-minded to other people at Turning Point. That's obvious. She's been making that point. I had heard that point. But she's specifically been defending Erica Kirk. And she's been saying she does not think that of Erica. And in fact, if you read her comments, she's under pressure to make comments about Erica. And so far, what I've seen, she hasn't. So thank you for that question.
Anyway, we'll get into the nitty gritty of how accurate that was, but Candace loved it and retweeted it saying, thank you, Megyn Kelly, for clarifying that Ben Shapiro quite literally lied to your face and to your audience about my words. Rarely in politics do you see someone lie so brazenly in an effort to morally black someone into their position. Trying to equate questioning Turning Point USA employees about their verifiable lies to accusing Erica Kirk of murdering her own husband is a vile and obvious attempt to shut down further investigation, and it will not work. But what are you supposed to make of it when Candace puts out content like this, where she says, the things I've discovered this past week are enough to burn the house down. Charlie was betrayed by everyone. What are you supposed to take from the everyone? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I think the implication was dramatic. And then I think a lot of people reading the tweets would assume that she meant Erica Kirk. And it is my opinion that she meant people to assume that, because that's the most salacious thing. And that is what drives clicks. And that's what drives viewers to her show. I will say, and I sent you the clip, I'm not a Candace Megyn defender. I don't think they need me to defend them at all. They're clearly fine defending themselves. But I think that she plays this game where she says the most crazy things, so everyone's like, oh my God. And then they tune into her show, and then on her show, she'll be a little more nuanced than she is in her clip or in her tweet, because she did release an episode before Ben said that said, like, I know some of you think that this means I'm saying Erica is involved. I am not saying that, So she did say that she doesn't think Erica did it. And there is a clarification. But I think what we're seeing right now is just this like really gross game of clickbait where she did mean people to think that. And then we're getting into semantics of like, well, she didn't literally say that. And then, whatever. I don't really I hate this so much because I do like, it's an intentional manipulation of audience. And then we're getting into this huge discussion about it, and it hurts a lot of people's feelings, and I don't think it helps any of us. I just, don't like
it. But it is so, for me, it's important to take a stand, because I think so much of what she is doing is what Ben said. It's pure evil. The manipulation, the wordplay, the insinuations, the implications, it's all so evil to me. And when Megyn, who I admire so much, refuses to call it out, it makes me crazy. Like, I don't understand why. I don't understand what Candace has on over her that makes her so different on this topic than she is on anything else. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, I saw the clip that you talked about too, where Candace says, I'm not coming after Erica because like Erica so far hasn't lied. She hasn't said anything that has made me come after her. But that's a lie. And it's again, it's a bunch of wordplay, which I thought this tweet from Gina Milan was so perfect at saying. She said, I love Megyn Kelly, truly do. But let's be real here. To say Candace is defending Erica Kirk is beyond far-fetched. She has openly accused the entire TPUSA organization of being involved in Charlie's death. That's not defending. That is a full-on smear. What's even worse is watching people tiptoe around it instead of calling it what it is. I wish more people had the guts to tell the truth and stop letting fear of online backlash dictate what they say. It is honestly pathetic and deeply disappointing. And I don't know, Megyn is trying to say that Candace has been defending Erica. Then I would like her to respond to this video and explain how this is a defense.
I want you to imagine you get a phone call, okay, from whoever saying that the person that you love most in this world and the person that you are married to has been shot. How fast are you getting off that phone? You're staying on the phone. You're asking questions. There's a series of questions that need to be answered. You scream. What do you mean? What are you talking about? Where is he? Where do I go? Blah, 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 blah. Is he okay? There are a litany of questions that would be asked. And please don't tell me that this is some situation where that wouldn't be the circumstance. I am so tired of the you wouldn't know what you would do. I do know that you're asking a series of questions.
Who is she implicating in that rant, if not Erica Kirk? I mean, like, How is that a defense of Erica? She's literally complaining about her initial reaction to hearing that her husband had been shot. I mean, I don't know how that's a defense of Erica Kirk. I don't get it. I don't get it. And by the way, there's just a couple of Candy quotes, because this was so funny to me. This is yesterday that she said, I will never forgive Zionists. The absolutely appalling scum of earth approach of watching a man be murdered and then climbing into his body like maggots, fighting to lie about who he was. There is no truth in these people. Holy lack of self-awareness. Oh my gosh. She could have written that about herself. Wow.
Yeah. The thing that bothers me about the infighting here is like, I think, yes, it's important to say this stuff is disgusting. This tweet is obviously crazy. And a lot of stuff that she says is crazy, I think, very intentionally manipulating people, emotional response to get clicks, to get people on board. And there's a reason that more people are watching her show now than ever. And I think most of that reason is the crazy tweets. And you're like, wait, she didn't really say that, did she? Because I know I've tuned in so much more because I'm like, she couldn't have really said that, right? And then I'll watch the show and I'm like, okay, why did I do that? Like, I just fell into the, I fell into the trap. But I think you have too, like, to confirm. You're like, I have to confirm this stuff. But what sucks to me is like the people that like killed Charlie, they are not asking you where you stand on this. And they're not going to ask you if you condemned Nick Fuentes, and they're not going to care if you like stood with Seth Dillon versus Matt Walsh versus Megyn Kelly versus Tucker Carlson. Like, they hate you the same amount, and they would kill you if they could. And they don't care about any of that stuff. And that's what makes me so sad, is like, we're fighting over these things when really we should see that there are bigger things to fight. And I don't know. It just is like it's a sad thing that we get into, because they hate us. They hate us and they want us dead. And there are people celebrating Charlie's death and yelling "F your dead homie." They're not asking you if you watch Candace or not before they say that. They're just trying to break you down. And I think we have to figure out a way to not make these fights happen. Like, people have to be better people and realize there's a bigger fight.
I totally get that. And it's, it's actually something that Daisy and I talked to Scott Jennings about, is just this, which is the right strategy? Is it that you ignore the fact that this is happening within your own ranks because the bigger issue is the left and their psychosis? Or do we have a responsibility to call out the crazy on our own side? And so I have been, I've been on that latter viewpoint, that you can't just ignore the biggest podcaster in the world influencing millions and millions and millions of people and act like it's not happening and like it's fine. Like, how do we ignore that when she has that level of influence? I don't think we can. And so that's where it's a struggle.
Yeah, I don't think it can be ignored at all. So sorry, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that at all. But I feel like we have to get to a point where the point is to condemn it, to get over this hill so that we're together, instead of I don't know, brushing everybody away, because we can't do that. And that list is just getting longer. It's oh, it's Candace, it's Megyn, it's Brett Cooper, it's Matt Walsh. It's how many people are we going to say we don't need anymore?
Yeah.
I think it's too many, but worse than that, it's these people would all be shot for agreeing with us. No one's going to see that there's nuance between us and them when they're targeting people. So we do have to work something out. I don't even know. I don't even know what.
I don't know. I know. It's such a cluster, and it's just so infuriating that we're having to deal with it when we were on such an ups, there was so much winning. And then all of this shitstorm happened, and it's now we're having to react to it, and it just sucks, because now, some of Trump's biggest supporters, like Candace back in the day, are now so against him and so fighting him and everything that he's trying to do. And I hate it.
And
I hate it
them,
all.
I say the same thing. Do you think that they're asking for nuance of whether you agree with Trump on H-1Bs before they put a target on you? They're not.
Right.
So pick your fights, come on.
Yeah. I hear you, but it's almost like an impossible, you can't, you're in a rock and a hard place. There's no good answer to how to deal with this. It's all we can do is just hope like hell that it somehow goes away. I don't know how that's going to happen, but
I know.
Man, I hope I am dying for it to go away.